Oh, hi there. So, the other night, in a bit of nostalgia, I decided to try and find the author of Jeff the Killer. You know, it's that one really infamous creepypasta from the early 2010s. The one about some kid who moves to a new neighborhood, gets mugged, then he gets set on fire, and then he goes insane and kills his family. That one. Well, I wanted to see if that author was still writing any stories, you know? Or if he plateaued at Jeff the Killer. So, with the use of the Wayback Machine, I went on to the old Creepypasta wiki, and it's there that I learned that the author's username is GameFuelTV. That username led me to a DeviantArt page of the same name, where I learned that GameFuelTV did not write the story, it was his brother Travis that wrote it, he just uploaded it. And while I was here, I learned that GameFuelTV, whose name is Joshua, actually started working on an ARG, an alternate reality game. That ARG was titled SeraBrackTum. Posted all the way back on September 13th of 2012, the image he used to launch this series was this pixel-crunched photo of a forest path, with the word SeraBrackTum written in large VHS font. It's very reminiscent of those early found-footage Slenderman ARGs, like Marble Hornets or Tribe 12. And the title alone is very evocative. Like, what does SeraBrackTum even mean? The description for the launch page doesn't really give much to work off of. It reads, "After months and months of plots going in the trash, we finally got a good one. If you wish to see it, go to the link." So this wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment idea, there was a lot of time invested into this. And that's neat, I couldn't wait to watch it. But when I clicked on that link, the page led to a dead end. The YouTube channel was deleted, and instantly I became obsessed. I wanted to know everything that there was to know about this old lost ARG, so I started digging. Here's all of the information I could find on SeraBrackTum. First things first, if you scroll down to the comment section of the announcement page, you'll see GameFuelTV talking a bit about the series. He describes it as a Slenderman project, and he says he was working on it by himself at the moment, as the actor behind the character Andrew, named Travis, is currently busy. That was likely the same Travis that wrote Jeff the Killer. That didn't bode too well for its quality, but I do think it's sort of neat how the author behind one of the most infamous creepypastas starred in a now-lost Slenderman ARG. That's pretty cool. Moving on, if you look in the scrap section of the DeviantArt account, you can see a screenshot of an old Tribe 12 livestream, and if you look on the right-hand side, you can see a user titled SeraBrackTum. The description of the post indicates that this is the man behind GameFuelTV, this is the man behind SeraBrackTum, this is Joshua. So at least now we have a face to associate with ARG. Unfortunately, this is the last bit of information regarding SeraBrackTum that you can find on this DeviantArt account. But if you Google the name SeraBrackTum, it will lead you to a now defunct Twitter account belonging to a person named Joshua Parker, who I assume is our protagonist, played by Joshua himself. There isn't a lot to go off of here, just a few tweets and photos. Let's go through them chronologically. There were 4 photos and 1 tweet posted on October 6th, 2012. The first photo on the account is titled Old Family Farm. It's a corrupted black and white photo of an old farmhouse. And on the right-hand side, you can see Slenderman standing in the foreground. But what's interesting is that this sharp black and white corruption only comes from digital photographs, which means this picture was taken in the modern day. Next, we have 3 photos labeled Family Photo 1 through 3. The first one is a group photo of 14 people. Each of them have their faces blurred out, or maybe burned out. Judging from their clothing, this image was taken in the 1890s. The key tell here are the women's clothes. They're wearing corsets and they've got these high stiff collars and these slightly puffy shoulders. All of these elements were part of the fashion at the time. So we've got a large family and an old family farm. We can assume that this is the family that owned the farm, and this photo was taken around the time it was established, sometime in the 1890s. It's also worth noting that the child in the bottom right is holding up a piece of paper with "He is here" written on it. It's very clearly photoshopped on, and I think the image would have been spookier without that, but I digress. I guess the implication is that Slenderman is nearby. Hell, maybe he's the one taking the photo. Family photo number 2 is a group of 6 people, and their clothing indicates this photo was taken sometime in the 1920s. The women are wearing much looser clothes, and the men are wearing fedoras and flat caps, which were popular amongst the working class of the era. Assuming it's the same family, I think it's pretty interesting that there are only 6 people here. The rest could be off screen somewhere, and this is just a photo of these 6 people only. But given that Slenderman is involved, I think it's worth questioning where the others are. Slenderman, in his lore, has a reputation for stealing people away. Maybe this is all that's left of the family. And yes, I'll address it. They're also missing their eyes, and they're bleeding from the sockets. Yes, it's very silly. Yes, it's poorly done. Let's just move on. Family photo number 3 is even more recent. While there's less to go off of, given that it's a photo of a single woman, judging by her hairstyle, we can assume that this photo was taken in the 1930s, or maybe the 1940s. It's kind of hard to tell. Given that the number of the people in the photos went from 14 to 6 to 1, I think it's safe to assume that, yeah, this is all that's left of the family. There was one person left, she couldn't run the farm by herself, and so she either sold it or abandoned it, moving elsewhere, away from Slenderman. And of the 3 images, this is the least silly looking. The photo is damaged in a realistic looking way, and while her eyes are blacked out and missing, they aren't bleeding like in image 2. It's a solidly spooky image, I give it a passing grade. That's the last photo on the account, unless you want to count the profile picture, which is just a photo of a forest path. Nothing too special here. Moving on. Next are the tweets. This first tweet was posted on October 16th, 2012, along with the pictures. Trying to contact Dr. Michael, but no luck so far. 2 weeks later, on October 30th, he posts again. Dr. Michael hasn't been in office in 3 months. Something off is going on. But I got his new contact number, and I'm calling it tomorrow. The next day, he posts, Happy Halloween, because it's Halloween. And then the account went dark for 3 years, until October 23rd of 2015, when he posted his final update. 3 years has passed. It was written in alternating case, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase. When you want to write something sarcastically, that's how you do it. Back then, I guess he was trying to be spooky, but it has aged quite poorly. And that's it. That's all the information I can find on this ARG. The YouTube channel and the videos on it are completely lost to time. There aren't even any snapshots on the Wayback Machine, so all we have left of the ARG are these fragments. If I were to guess what this story was about, I'd assume it'd be about Joshua Parker returning to an old family property. He'd be digging up history about how his bloodline was tormented by Slenderman. Maybe the family decided to settle in a location where Slenderman was active, and then he started stealing family members away, one by one. And now that Joshua has come back to the farm, he's being tormented by Slenderman too. He probably thinks he's going insane, and so he sought out a doctor, Dr. Michael, or, something like that. To be honest, my imagination is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. And I'm gonna be honest for a second. I really doubt this series was any good if the family photos are anything to go off of. With the he is here message and their bleeding eyes, it's very silly. But it's one thing if we're simply a bad internet ARG. Those things, they're a dime a dozen. But now it's lost media, and we have to fill in the blanks with what little clues we have left. There are so many questions left unanswered. Who are Joshua and Andrew? Who is Dr. Michael? What happened to him, and why was Joshua seeing him? What's the deal with the old family farm? How is Slenderman involved? And most importantly to me, what does SeraBrackTum even mean? Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a condition? What is it? In the end, all we're left with are those questions. And unless Joshua Gamefuel TV himself comes back to the internet, I doubt we'll ever get any answers as to what SeraBrackTum was actually about. Still, I think the series is far more interesting as it is right now compared to what it actually would have been if he had kept uploading. Like I said, bad internet ARGs, those are a dime a dozen. But lost media, genuine, real lost media? That's pretty hard to come by. We're looking at a fossilized imprint of an actual lost ARG, and I think that's pretty awesome. And hey, if you maybe watched SeraBrackTum back in the day, or if you know anything about it at all, do leave a comment letting me know what you remember. I am genuinely curious. In fact, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, it would be dope if you could leave a like and a comment. Doing both really helps boost things into the algorithm. Anyway, my name's Owen, by the way, and thank you for watching.